was a fixed choke pattern better or worse than a removable choke, interchangeable choke, whatever you want to call it? I have a Bridge Gun Company single shot here. It has a 28-inch barrel, and it's actually an H&R model 1908 under the trade name Bridge Gun Company. This here is
a TriStar Viper G2. It also has a 28-inch barrel, only it is semi-automatic, as you can tell.
And it has removable chokes. Both guns have a 28-inch barrel, and this one measures 635 at the muzzle. That one measures 636. We can live with that minor difference.
Yes.
We will be chronoing 5 rounds out of each gun to see if there's a velocity difference between the two. But again, both guns have a 28-inch barrel with effectively the same size choke.
Does this thing robbing gas from behind the projectiles that comes down the barrel change the velocity really any, or if it makes any difference? Plus, like you mentioned before, screw-in chokes. If that changes anything, if it really is good as like a fixed full, something that cannot be changed, you know.
Fixed full chokes tend to pattern really well, but also interchangeable chokes pattern really well. We're going to see if there's a difference between the two. Now, yes, there is a difference between gun to gun. You could have the same model, same barrel length, same choke, and generally speaking, they will have some variation. But we're going to put that to the test today. Also, these are both 16s. Why are we using 16s for this? Well, one, it's one of the few guns we have with removable chokes and fixed choke that have basically the same muzzle diameter. And two, we like 16 gauge.
Yep. So I guess without further ado, let's do.
We'll start with the chrono segment, run 5 shots out of each gun, and then we'll do an average calculation. So this should be fairly interesting.
Yes. The shells we're going to be using for this comparison today are Herter Select Field. Obviously, it is a 16 gauge, 2 3/4 inch shell, loaded to 1,165 feet per second with 1 ounce of number 6 shot. I'm going to run 5 of these through this TriStar over the chronograph. We'll mark down what they are, and then he's going to run 5 through the bridge gun, the single shot anyways. And we'll record his and compare the differences. Sound like fun?
Sounds like fun to me.
Alrighty. Go ahead and point as I note as I grab these out of here. They are a really good looking hull.
They are. They're purple.
They're translucent purple and gold writing on it, as he'd say. Looks like royalty, which I'll have to agree.
It looks like royalty. Sorry for the slide out of focus. Maybe I can fix that. There you go. There you go.
Anyways, I'm kind of excited to see what happens here.
I wonder what barrel length that they tested these out of. Was it a 28-inch? Was it a 24, 26, 30? Maybe we'll see over 1,200 FPS out of these.
Maybe we'll only see 900.
Maybe.
Out of this one and advertised through that one where it's robbing gas. I don't know, but
in theory, it should be a little bit less velocity than the single shot.
Right. That's just the nature of the animal. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Alrighty, firing the first shot.
1236.
Did it cycle it? I don't know if it did or not. We'll see. Nope. I had problems the other day. This thing does not like 1 ounce loads.
It doesn't like the low velocity 1 ounce loads.
I was going to say underneath of
1200.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yep. 790. That is a misreading. You'll need
that one
shot.
Cycled. I don't know if it reset to sear, but that's what the ones I was using the other day were doing.
Nope. So that's one advantage to a single shot. You can shoot anything out of it.
Right. Are you ready?
Yep. 1251. At that speed, they should be cycling, but they're not.
That one did cycle.
Okay. 1254. 1229.
And that was all of them.
All right. Run one more. We'll get a 5th shot. That second was a misreading. 1204.
Alrighty.
I believe all of those that read correctly were above 1200 FPS. So now we'll see what the single shot has. Again, it also has a 28-inch barrel. Sorry for stepping in front of the camera. So the average muzzle velocity of the TriStar semi-auto with interchangeable chokes was 1,234.8 feet per second.
The lowest was 1204, the highest was 1254, with a spread of 50.
All right, so we have the single shot now. Again, this is an H&R model 1908 under the trade name Bridge Gun Company. And before anyone says anything, yes, this gun originally had a 2 9/16 inch chamber, but it has been opened up by a previous owner to 2 3/4. Otherwise, we would not be shooting 2 3/4 inch shells out of it.
The fore
But
end is taped on.
yeah, it's taped on because the lug is kind of bent a little bit. But here we go. 1127.
Daggone.
Very strong ejector.
Yeah, just kick that thing 15 foot behind him.
893, that's a misreading. So
Plus the windshield out of my S10.
1208, that's up there kind of with the Viper. 896, another misreading. I have 2 good readings and 2 bad ones.
I'm starting to wonder if those ain't true readings.
Me too. 1176.
You've shot 2 of them perfectly into this cooler.
1185, I need 1 more good reading. 1153. Okay, so we can already see that the 16 gauge single shot here, again, 28 inch barrel, is running slower than the semi-auto. Why that is, I could not tell you.
And guys, he ejected them things, and 3 of how many ever he fired landed in this cooler here, sitting on the hood of the S10. Figured I'd point that out.
It was intentional.
We are on the range today, but it's Eastern Kentucky, so please excuse the wind noise.
Yeah.
The average muzzle velocity of the Bridge Gun Company single shot, which is actually an H&R model 1908, was 1169.8. So that's not too far off from the box average. The lowest velocity we got is 1,127 FPS. The highest was 1,208, giving us a spread of 81. It's slower and has a wider spread than the semi-auto.
Viper G2, 28 inch barrel, full choke, 635 thousandths of the constriction. The shell we are shooting is a compression firm Winchester Hall with a Winchester 209 primer. It is loaded with 20 grains of long shot, the Claybuster Blue Wad, and 10 pellets of number 1 buck and mixed number 47 buffer. We're at roughly 10 yards. I'm going to aim for the right hand side of the paper here. Hopefully we can get 2 on it to compare them side by side.
Ollie was downrange. We'll have to wait for him.
Yep.
I'll cut the video right here. Ooh.
We've got a wad strike right above point of aim, but the rest of the pattern went where I was expecting.
I just caught Buffer in the eyes.
Me too, but that is okay. It is well worth it.
That's a very, very good pattern. Now I will
Yes, sir.
take the same shell with the single shot and see how it does.
I'll show you. That was laying there. I'm trying to keep an eye where these go. They're kind of like hen's teeth anymore.
They are. They're very rare.
But alrighty, sorry guys for obstructing your view.
Good. Am I good
But
where
you
I'm at?
are ready, sir, whenever you are.
All right. Same shell Josh fired here. I'll go to the left to point of aim. And from down here, the patterns look identical.
Very, very similar.
Very similar, if not
His
identical.
wad strike even hit exactly as far over as mine did. That is wild.
He's right, yes.
Alrighty guys, you gotta check this out. This is pretty interesting. The wind helped us is what it was.
So we have both wad strikes right here. They are completely parallel with each other. That's pretty cool to see. But the semi-auto had a, let's see, that is a 6x3. 6x3. The single shot measures 5 by, again, 3. So the single shot is better by 1 inch on the vertical. Not much of a difference there. We'll go on to a different shell now.
Once again, I'm back up with this TriStar. We're shooting another compression formed Winchester Hall. It has a Winchester 209 primer in it. I hope you can see that. Well, roughly anyways. This one is loaded with 20 grains of long shot, the Claybuster Blue Wad, no shot cup, and 10 pellets of double aught buck, mixed number 47 buffer. I'm expecting this one to open up slightly more than the last one, but not much. Let's see how this does.
No shot cup. This is a 1 1/4 ounce load.
I'm going to aim right below my other pattern. So left side. Right where I was aiming.
Seems to have opened up a little bit more than the previous one.
Yes, sir.
But again, that's because of no shot cup.
I have the haul. If you'll step back here and tell me if it's in frame, I'll show you it.
It is now.
All right. It looks fine. Can go again.
Yep.
Once again, rare as hen's teeth.
So same thing Josh just fired. I am now using the single shot. And I'll go right below my previous shot. And once again, it's opened up just a little bit more than the previous two. Let's go measure that one.
We'll measure the semi-automatics first, the TriStars. And it looks like we have a 8-inch vertical by roughly 2 3/4 inch horizontal. Now for the single shot. It looks like we'll do it the same way on this one. That's a wad strike down there. It has about a, we'll call it 3-inch vertical by a 5.5-inch horizontal. An overall better pattern.
The single shot patterned a little bit better. It patterned a little bit better last time too by 1 inch.
Right.
So let's see if the final two shots are the same outcome. Now this is just one test between two different guns. We could test this in 12 gauge too. I'm sure I could find a single shot with a exact same choke diameter as a interchangeable choke. But move on to the next two.
We are shooting another compression form Winchester Hall with a Winchester 209 primer. It is also loaded with 20 grains of long shot, the Claybuster Blue Wad. This one has 12 pellets of 29 cal number 1 buck and mixed number 47 buffer. Still shooting this old TriStar. I reckon for this one I'm going to try to hold. I'll surprise you. I really don't know yet. I guess I'll go low left, but not quite left to center. That works. That's where I was aiming. Where'd the haul go?
It is right
I see
here.
it. Right here is my wilted dead beans.
I'm making him shoot the semi-auto. That way he has to chase the halls and I don't.
There you go. It looks good.
Focus. There we go. Beautiful. Can go again.
Yeah.
Up next is obviously the single shot. Everything is the same as Josh just fired. And once again, those look about identical. So the semi-auto has a pattern size of 7 by, a 7 by 4. The single shot has a pattern size of 5 by 6. So all three rounds here, the single shot has patterned a little bit better than the semi-auto. Who would have thought? What's funny to me is the semi-auto has a tighter choke by 1,000th.
That might be the difference.
You wouldn't think that would make a big difference, and I'm sure that's not why we're seeing pattern differences here. But it is patterning slightly worse than the single shot. Is it enough to matter? No, not at 10 yards anyway.
I have a slight theory behind it. There's always a little bit of a flyer with the semi-automatic, and it might correlate with where the gas ports nip the wad. Them two little nips that come out of the back of that gas seal, that might be enough to disturb the flight to make that phenomenon happen. I've noticed this multiple times, and until somebody pointed out what them marks on the gas seal are. Thank you, whoever you were in the comments, anyways, for noting that. That was pretty helpful there. But anyways, it seems to make sense. Or at least attribute to it, anyways.
The single shot could have a much longer ramp to the choke, whereas the semi-auto has a much shorter ramp to the choke, the muzzle. Gives it a longer time to constrict instead of rather all at once.
instead of a violent squish to a long, hard hook.
Right.
I don't know, guys. This is a pretty interesting test, I feel like. I hope you all enjoy it. So, closing thoughts here. The single shot may have patterned a little bit better, but the difference is marginal between it and the semi-automatic. You all make your call on which one you would use. I personally feel like the advantages of the single shot far outweigh the negative of that little bit of a difference. Don't get me wrong, I love the single shots. Those are my favorite. When I go squirrel hunting and stuff, I still pack a single shot. But for a comparison thing, dead nuts comparison of two different operating platforms in the same bore length, or same chamber and the same bore, same barrel length and all that, you know what we know, I guess. I ran out of steam on that.
So, like Josh was saying, the advantages to the semi-auto kind of greatly outweigh the single shot here. The single shot has the advantage of it being able to fire and eject pretty much anything that says 16 on it. Obviously, don't shoot steel shot through a fixed full old single shot. But anyway, the semi-auto, it has most semi-autos have trouble cycling very light loads. You guys seen that at the beginning of this video. But speaking about the patterns a little bit more, at longer range, you would see the single shot versus the semi-auto. You would see the difference even more at longer range. The single shot would have a little bit tighter spread over the semi-auto, at least these two examples. Again, you would see that a lot more at longer range.
A lot more defined, anyways.
Yeah.
Which we might come back and do that if y'all would like. Maybe step it out to 20 yards and see how that does, or maybe a little farther. Let us know.
We can use other gauges. We'll have to find a fixed choke that is the exact same, or very close anyway, to the interchangeable chokes. I'm sure we can do that. But this was an interesting video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. We always appreciate that. Check out the stuff in the description for our Patreon, merch store, Instagram, Rumble. That stuff greatly helps us out. But other than that,
Cue outro.